Let's dig them in. One, two, dig them in.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Today is a real milestone, a very special day for the Center for Discovery, for Rock Hill, for Sullivan County, and honestly for every family in New York State who will have a child diagnosed with a complex condition like autism. Today we are proud to welcome you all to the groundbreaking of our Children's Specialty Hospital. First, a few special thank yous. To our champion, Senator Schumer, thank you. For your vision, your compassion, your friendship, your leadership on behalf of every person with a disability. Thank you to the team from the USDA who understood the transformative nature of this project and worked with us through some very tight deadlines and helped us navigate the loan process and award that allowed the USDA to be here today and allowed us to be here today as well. Thank you to our state senator, Mike Bartucci, for coming today and being with us. And of course, our Assemblywoman and great advocate, Aileen Gunther. Thank you, Aileen. A big thank you to the Vice Chancellor of the New York State Board of Regents, Josephine Finn. Chancellor Finn and Pat Dollar went to high school together, so maybe she'll tell us some stories later on about that. Thank you, Thompson Town Supervisor Bill Reber. Sullivan County Commissioner of Jurors, George Cook. Thank you to our great friend, President of SUNY Sullivan, Jay Quaintance, who's done an amazing job and has been a great friend of ours and partner of ours since day one. And finally, I'd like to ask our board of directors to stand and be acknowledged for all they do. Thank you so much, if you would. Ellen Alamany, Aidan Quinn, Art Thompson, Allison Bella, Ed Giancontera, and all those that couldn't be here today. Thank you so much. It gives me enormous pleasure to introduce the man behind this vision. This is certainly a milestone today. This is without a doubt Patrick's vision. From the day I joined the board, he talked about having a specialty hospital. The Center for Discovery CEO, Pat Dollard, has led the organization for 40 years, and he has never stopped innovating and trying to change the world. He saw this building and saw a specialty hospital that could change the course of care for people, complex people that are diagnosed with disabilities, and help not only heal them, but heal their families. And in the process, the hope was always to create a model that could be duplicated and that could save the state tens of millions of dollars, if not more. Ladies and gentlemen, our CEO and our good friend, Pat Dollar. Patrick.
Thank you. Well, I have just a dozen thank yous, and then I'm going to have Dr. Hamlin, who, by the way, is the new president of the Center for Discovery. Yeah, Ellen told me a year or two ago, you know, enough with this executive director, CEO, and president. Done. Get rid of that one. So, we did, and we're in good hands. You know, we wouldn't be here without the great support of Senator Schumer, and I'll talk more about that later on, but he's been with us, you know, for 30-some years when we were 18 staff or 20 staff, and he's treated us the same way when we were a little bit bigger, and now we're not Northwell yet, Jeff, but we're getting there. But he's that kind of guy, and you know, he's excited about the innovation of this hospital because it's going to be one of a kind in the country that really is trying to assess and support families in that crazy crisis time when they're told they have a child with a disability and don't know what to do. And we hope to offer that, and Terry will get into that a little bit bigger. We've been working on this project for 10 years, so the work's just beginning. But we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the talent of our 1,700 staff that actually make everything work. And we can't talk enough about them. You know, we can dream it, But if you don't have the staff and the talent and the effort, you can't do it, and we have that. And I think that's a great testament to where we are in Sullivan County. You know, we've been sort of pushed off as like a bumpkin kind of county, and yet the Center for Discovery is internationally known because of Sullivan County people. We're talented, we're cool, we're hip. A little irreverent occasionally, but we get stuff done. And with that, and I have some friends that I just want to acknowledge, for the last couple of years, I would meet Ira Gold, Glenn Smith, Alan Scott, and George Cook in the coffee shop in Hurleyville, the market. And they'd allow me to whine to them about trying to get this building from the Liquidation Bureau. Finally, we did that, and I think they just thought I was bullshitting them, that ultimately we're going to get this done. So for you guys, thank you for listening to me for all those years. By the way, 4 of the finest people in Sullivan County, and it's people like that and their children, and some of them old enough to have children and grandchildren, make this place very special. My good friend Howard Siegel, who has a international reputation and really being an insurance guy that really supports you. When you're having trouble with issues, he's there for me. He's been there for me for my 40 years. He's a little younger than me, but I wanted to say thank you for everything you've done for the center. When I grew up in Rock Hill, and when we first started to look at this building, we realized the building has just got such potential. It's built beautifully. And I wanted to be respectful to Susie Laughlin, who's here, because it was her dad who really had the dream to create the Frontier Insurance. And could we have a nice round of applause for Susie and everything she's doing? I can't see it. Is Susie here? Great. Susie, thank you for always being a support of mine. And as we start to think about growing forward and being able to sustain this effort, it's all about trying to make Sullivan County better. And no 2 people do that better than anybody on the planet, and that's Alan and Sandra Gary. And Sandra, you know, Alan and I have our private little wine dinners and we just talk. But Sandra actually does a lot of stuff. And she founded Sullivan 180, and it's really, the vision there is to how do we make Sullivan County better for everybody. And I'm proud to be on that board to help you, Sandra, to make that happen. And sitting next to them is Paul Gunther and Diane Gunter. Now, Paul is a dude. He came to me, he was on the board with Terry, and he says, I got to hook you up with this guy, Michael Dowling. He knew us 2 Irish boys, Aidan, would really hook up. Michael Dowling, for those folks, runs Northwell. And you have about 72,000 employees. Michael always says, I think you said 71, and he corrected you as 72. And Jeff Kraut sitting next to him. Jeff, Michael and you, and thanks to Paul, and our affiliation with Northwell, really was instrumental in helping us get through the pandemic, keeping all of our folks safe. And we're still not out of it, but we want to thank you from the bottom of our heart and tell Michael the same thing. And lastly, you know, my consigliere, the guy who yells at me and guides me in running the place, George Todd, Dr. Todd, has always advised us. He's the medical advisor to the board. And George, your help with me and with Terry and our medical team getting through this tough year was so invaluable. And you're a dear friend. You take good care of me. I appreciate that. So I'll be back once or twice, but I'm going to catch up with anybody I've missed. Jeff Klein, thank you for coming. Rich Mayfield is sitting next to Jeff Klein. I know Senator Schumer is going to talk to him. Rich headed up the USDA, and we're going to gush about USDA a lot, but Rich, thank you so much for all your effort with us. And with that, I'm going to bring up Dr. Hanlon to give you a sense of what our hope is for this hospital.
Thank you, Patrick, and thank you, everybody, for being here today. Senator Schumer, it is a privilege and an honor to have you here with us today. Your unwavering commitment to the center extends well beyond those who attend our programs. It's literally affecting all of those who receive services in New York State, as this hospital is a designated statewide resource. And nationally, because the center is recognized as a center of excellence and a leader in the field of disability, there are many, many who are watching and hoping to replicate what we do here. The need is so great. The Children's Specialty Hospital is a highly specialized evaluation and treatment program for children and youth ages 5 to 21 that will transform how children with autism and other complex developmental disabilities are treated. I want to make clear, however, that we will not be competing with other community and tertiary care hospitals like our local Garnet Health, Westchester Medical Center, and our invaluable partner, Northwell Health. Instead, we will be a vital resource for these hospitals as they are struggling to treat a growing and very challenging population of children diagnosed with autism and other complex disabilities. Our goal for the hospital is not only to successfully treat these children, but to support their families and their school districts to avoid often unnecessary, lifelong, high-cost residential placements that can sometimes permanently separate the children from their families and their community. The children and youth admitted into our hospital will need to have a diagnosis of a developmental disability, be eligible for services through our state agency, OPWDD, exhibit medical comorbidities, and be deemed at risk for placement out of the home. Once admitted, our center team here will conduct a comprehensive evaluation, including an in-depth biomedical evaluation with our highly specialized team of physicians and clinicians, examining body and brain health, functional and lifestyle behaviors, and evaluating the environment that surrounds the child, including the family, the community, and school supports, thus unraveling the complexity of each child, each individual who is admitted into our hospital. This intensive, integrated, and highly specialized biobehavioral and environmental evaluation is what sets us apart from all other hospital settings and allows us, all under one roof, to develop treatments to be administered at a fraction of the cost than that of a typical hospital stay. The treatment extends to training and education for school personnel and for their families, so that the child can be successfully reintegrated into the home. And we will use the Alemany Learning Center here inside this building as a worldwide platform to advance knowledge about children with complex conditions and their families. The world needs the Center for Discovery now more than ever. So as if saving lives and families weren't enough, we're saving significant dollars and resources for New York State, educating the world, and we're further contributing to the economic viability of Sullivan County, for which many of us is near and dear to our hearts. We have so many people to thank for their belief in our work, especially our board, and all of those mentioned by Patrick and Ed. But Senator Schumer, without you, we would not be here today with a shovel in the ground. As a result of your steadfast leadership, every single family who has a child with a disability owes you a debt of gratitude. And for that, we at the center can't thank you enough.
And Terry starts to talk and the sun comes out. Not too shabby. I wanted to, Senator Martucci, I just met you for the first time, and I think you're gonna be really great for the state. I very much appreciate your kind words when I invited you to come and meet Senator Schumer. That kind of thing going forward with both sides talking is a good deal. And Aileen, you have been there for me through all kinds of shit.
A lot of it.
Yes, and you have always taken care of us and been you've had our back for all of these years. I want to thank you personally for all of that. And as I'm going to hand this back off, Dad, I want to talk about the economic impact that Terry talked about and the great USDA folks, but also we have private philanthropy that is coming to us at the same time. So it's this really marvelous government and private philanthropy that's really coming together. And at the top of the list is Jack Alameni, who gifted the kickoff for our learning center, which will be right over in that building. As Terry talks about, that will have all of these training systems for kids and families who come to the hospital. That learning center, that TED kind of center, is going to be able to transport that around the world. So thank you very much for that support. And I'm going to turn it over to Ed Sweeney, the chair of the board, who is just always there. So Ed, thank you.
Thank you, Patrick. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks, Terry. And it's not in my remarks, but I do want to thank our unbelievable staff that's done an unbelievable job putting this together. Michael Rosen and so many others that are sort of unsung heroes. The center is nothing without its people, and you guys are just absolutely amazing. It's my pleasure to bring up Brian Murray, the Regional Director of the United States Department of Agriculture. He's the acting director, which I think means he has to work a little bit harder. Our great partners in this new project we're here to celebrate today. Thanks, Brian. Come on up.
Hey, Brian.
Good afternoon. I'm not really sure how to, top the comments that have been made so far about all the partnerships and all that, but I'll do my best. But anyways, thank you, Chairman, for your kind words in introduction. So, on behalf of President Biden, Agriculture Tom Vilsack, we want to congratulate this entire team here at the Center of Discovery for this wonderful project and what your mission is here. This project is just another example of the Biden-Harris administration in their Building Back Better, starting right here in Rock Hill. I'd like to take a moment, which these individuals will probably, I'll hear about this later most likely, that I'd like to recognize my staff that has been a part of this, the USDA portion of the underwriting, and so that we could get to this point. But Brenda Smith, if you could please stand up. She's the program director for community. Howard Kunz, he's program specialist. Is Kim Peden here? I did not see Kim, but she couldn't make it. But she's a state architect, and she kind of gives a second look at a lot of the plans and the specs here for the facility. And Chris Hunsinger, who is the area specialist that will be taking on this project, from this point forward so that it comes to completion. So, but I would definitely be remiss if I did not mention our former state director, Rich Mayfield. Rich, you're still part of the team in our hearts, so please stand up. So Rich was pivotal in ushering this project through this project with our agency. We had a lot of meetings, as Brenda probably would know, and I won't really say browbeatings, but strong encouragement to get this thing moving from Mr. Mayfield. So we'll just keep it at that. So he deserves a lot of credit for that. So, but this just goes to show that projects like this one don't happen by themselves. It's through the Center of Discovery team, the USDA team, and Senator Schumer, your guidance and your team, that makes this a vision, that to see what needs to be done. It takes cooperation to make the plan. It takes a partnership, definitely, to go forward, and it takes dedication to see it through. By the numbers, this project is truly remarkable. It's the first in the state, which was mentioned before, of this kind of facility. It's a $35 million investment made by USDA to not only this facility, but more importantly to the children and the families that you serve. It's going to create 400 healthcare jobs, which is huge, 150 good-paying construction jobs to make this facility a reality. In your scope of influence, over 10 counties and across the world, really, is really remarkable. So this is one of a kind. This is really impressive as far as the facility and what your mission is. But most importantly is what this facility will mean for the families and for the children who walk through these doors. It's a place of hope, of health care, of learning, but most of all, a place where every child can reach their full potential. That's important. That's why we are all here, I think, for those children and their families. So the dedicated people here at the Center for Discovery know what it will mean to these families and children. The senator knows, what this means to the people of the county and to the region. Chairman Sweeney, you and your staff, we're proud to be a partner in this endeavor and to look forward to really coming back to see when this thing is completed. I can't wait to see that. It'll take a while, I'm sure, but we'd love to come back. So we wish you the best in your future. We congratulate you on what you're doing here, and again, congratulations on this wonderful facility.
You're introducing.
Unless you want to.
No, go.
All right. There we go. Thank you very much, Brian Murray, Regional Director of the USDA. Thank you so much for your kind words and your sentiments and all your help in making this great project happen. I now have the incredible privilege of introducing New York's senior senator and the Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer. Senator Schumer understood the importance of this project from day one. He saw a dream that could change lives in the state of New York, and he fought from that very first day to turn that dream into a reality. He's a tenacious fighter for our community, as there is, and he has a heart to match. There are no adequate words to express our appreciation. I'll just say on a personal note, 25 years ago, I was clerking on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for our mutual late dear friend Al Smith IV, and I got to know Senator Schumer and his staff very well. Back then, I was trying to encourage him not to run for governor, but to run for the United States Senate, as I recall. I think he'd be very happy that you're now happy that we're here, but also happy that you're the Majority Leader of the United States Senate. I'll also say, I'd like to say I've taken advantage of that friendship, but Senator Schumer has been absolutely unbelievable, as has his staff. Best constituent services in the United States Senate. You call him or his body guy, they get on the phone right away. He's been truly unbelievable advocate on behalf of the center and our families and our staff and those that we care for and love. Ladies and gentlemen, the Majority Leader of the United States Senate, Chuck Schumer.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Great to be here. So first, whoa. I hope that's not a metaphor for what's going to the minute I get up here. Anyway, first, thank you. Patrick is right, or actually Ed. I've been here many times at Center for Discovery, but this is my first time as Majority Leader. And I promise you I will use whatever abilities I have as Majority Leader to continue and help this great institution, this great worldwide institution. Second, I'm just doing a little housekeeping here. I'd like to wish everybody a happy 4th of July and a happy 4th of July weekend. My daughters got me some Father's Day presents, including what they said is a 4th of July shirt. But wait, they went further. 4th of July socks. They got me, got me these happy socks, you know. Women can dress nice and all kinds of nice things. Men, it's sort of dull, but ties and now socks can make us a little better. And just while everyone's praising their staff, I do have a great staff. Just a great staff. I wouldn't be where I am without them. My two chiefs of staff, Mike Lynch in Washington and Martin Brennan here in New York. Martin is actually a friend of Ed's. Two tough Irish guys who keep me going. We have a great Hudson Valley representative who does just an amazing job throughout the Hudson Valley, and I want to praise Megan Glander as well. And her great deputy, Nicole, who's looking off to the side. Okay, and I want to thank the leaders of this great organization, this great, world-famous, world-class, groundbreaking organization. And I want to thank Ed for his chairmanship. I want to thank all of the, how many people work here? Raise your hands. The 1,700 people who work here and give hope and faith and courage and life to so many people here. God bless you. You are doing, you inspire me. I want to thank Terry, the great job she's doing as now president. Ed and the board, and all those who helped out that way, our legislators. Aileen Gunther's a dear friend of mine. She is not related to Paul Gunther.
I wish I was.
I'm going to let you in on it. She's from the Bronx. She's Irish. Paul's from Manhattan, and he's a WASP, so you're not related. Everyone thinks he's Irish. He was the head of Fordham, but the chairman of the board of Fordham, but he's not. But I want to thank my friends, the Gunthers and the Garys, dear friends forever. And I don't know if Nellie Bly is here, but she and her husband, Mike, have been great friends of mine as well. And I thank them for their steadfastness and dedication. And finally, to Patrick. Patrick is smart. He is dedicated. He is relentless. He says what he thinks, even if it occasionally uses a curse word or two. You know what he sounds like? Somebody from Brooklyn, the highest compliment I could pay him. But he's from here, his whole life. But when all those Brooklyn people came up to the Catskills, something must have rubbed off. Okay, but anyway, thank you, Patrick. You are so dedicated, and you are the visionary, and you are the force, and you are it. And there are literally tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people on this globe who lead much better lives, they and their families, because of you. And that's the highest compliment you can pay to somebody. So, why are we here? Well, in early November of 2019, Patrick called me, his leadership team. They came actually to our offices in Washington, it was pre-COVID, with a vision to build this amazing first short-term inpatient assessment program for children with complex developmental disabilities, but really the first one of its kind, not in Sullivan County, not in New York State, not in the United States of America, but really in the world, And how excited I was when I heard about it, because it not only would help the hundreds of children who would come here, but millions literally who would learn from what is discovered at the Center for Discovery and spread it worldwide. So it is an amazing beacon, an amazing opportunity. And I said to them then I would do everything in my power to help this dream come to fruition. And we are making history today for that, because I said, this is offering New York's children and families a place to turn at first diagnosis and get world-class help in diagnosis, so that I asked Patrick how long he thinks the average kid would stay, about 45 days, and then be able to go home. Amazing. It's a vision, a beautiful vision that we're ready to turn into reality. That's the beauty of it. It's not just a vision. That's the kind of guy he is, Patrick. He takes vision and turns it into reality. Another great Brooklyn attribute. Those aren't very Brooklyn glasses, Patrick.
By the way, John,
They're the new Brooklyn glasses, not the Brooklyn I came from. Yeah, right. Williamsburg, right. Anyway, and not only is this groundbreaking activity, it's going to create jobs. We all care about jobs in Sullivan County, so. And the fact that in addition to the 1,700 people who work here today, there'll be another 400 people working here. And the fact that it will create hundreds of new construction, good-paying construction jobs here is going to be a shot in the arm for the economy. And then it's going to help the schools. There are right now 853 schools, special education schools, that work with the center. There'll be 60 additional students who will come from surrounding communities into this state-of-the-art facility. So when he came to me and showed me this vision, I said, wow, I want to play whatever part I can, small part, because the real hard part is what is done here, not what I do, to make it happen. And I have some people to thank, because this wouldn't have happened without them. And the USDA Office of Rural Development worked with us. We just heard from Brian Murray and his team. But there's a special person who was acknowledged, but I want to acknowledge him again, because he pushed this through thick and thin. And we all worry about partisanship. He was appointed by a president who was not my favorite, but he persisted and persisted and persisted. From day one, he was instrumental in working with me to make this happen, because he, like us, believed in the vision. And when we told him that so much of rural New York, not just Sullivan County, but Broome and Shenango and Columbia and Delaware and Greene and Orange and Otsego and Ulster and Schoharie would be served in the way that so many rural communities cannot get served, he saw that vision. In March of 2020, he came up to the site at my request, right here. He met with the community, he suggested the community facilities program, and then of course shortly after his visit, not cause and effect, COVID began to surge, and with the devastating financial effects that it had here and everywhere else. So that jeopardized the hospital. But Rich kept working with my great staff, and we figured out the best way to go. So in the midst of the pandemic, when people with disabilities were faced with impacts, we saw a light of hope spring up when the USDA approved this historic $35 million federal investment in the hospital through the Community Facilities Law. So, and the bottom line is this is a great federal investment, not only in the human sense, which is the real sense, but even in dollars and cents sense, because it's going to save millions of dollars. These kids will get the care they need early, and it'll be better care, and at the end of the day, it'll end up costing less, even though the kids are much better off. What could be better than that? So it's just great. And so I say to the whole team here at the Center for Discovery, you inspire me. From Patrick and the board and the head doctors and the brilliant people who work here, all the way to the people who come at night and keep the place clean. You inspire me. You are great. We're going to keep working for you like you work for us. Thank you, everybody, and have a great July 4th weekend.
we have a plaque that just simply says, thank you for your vision and leadership, and we just have gratitude for everything you do. And by the way, my wife is from Brooklyn.
There you go. That's what did it. As we ask in Brooklyn, what high school, what parish? I'm Jewish, and I ask what parish, so.
Flatbush.
Flatbush, there you go.
Thanks. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Appreciate it.